record. Okay, so because I've started recording, I'll quickly go over what I've been saying so that when I post it on, it won't be like I cut. Now, the first thing I said when we started was your ability to pay attention to the chart. The chart speaks to you. It always does. It always does. The chart always, tell you what is happening in the market. Your ability as a person to now pay attention to what it's saying. And this is where a lot of people miss it. There's a lot of noise that is going around that a lot of us don't pay attention to the chart. And like I always say, if you cannot pay attention to the chart, you cannot follow the trend. Because it's when you pay attention to the chart that you can easily say, oh, this is what the market is about to do. So I'm going to trade in this direction. Okay. Now, if you look at this pattern, I'll go over this pattern again. When Bitcoin bottom, right now, this is the price. This is the price at which Bitcoin has bottom. So at least for now, until $17,000 is broken. Until $17,000 is broken, the $17,800 price, until it is broken, we can say Bitcoin has bottomed at 17,000 for now. Okay, irrespective of what anybody is saying. For me, I'm just saying that this is the bottom for now. Until this price is broken, you cannot say that the bottom is going to be at 14,000, because what the chart is telling us is that this is the bottom for now. Okay, so and if you look at this pattern, you will notice that from that spot in June of this year of around 17,500, that will be moving up a little bit, bit by bit, and we have been forming what is called higher low. Okay, we see that we move on from here to another low, but this low is higher than this low. That means we did around 18,700. Then we'll move up again to this spot, 19,100. Then we'll move up again to this spot, 20,972. So we kept forming higher low until we have formed this pattern that is known as squeeze pattern, or you can call it triangle pattern. Now, what normally happens is that this pattern, there are some people that we call breakout trader. They don't trade within trend. Within when you're having a squeeze pattern like this, they will not trade. So they will wait for the market to break out either to the top or to the bottom, and they can wait. If you are a breakout trader, you'll be a very patient person, because you can wait for weeks. If you can't these candles that has formed within this pattern, you know that this is over a month, or let's say around a month, because each candle represents one day, because I'm on the daily chart. So now, looking at this pattern, you will notice that it can break out either way. But if you are trading with the sentiment that market is in a bear, it's in a bear, yes, Tosin, I'm actually recording. I started recording, some couple of weeks ago. So if you are trading with the mindset that that we are in a bear season, which of course we are in a bear season, you'll be paying attention. You'll be looking out for this to break out to the downside, just like what happened in around around April, around April, March, around February, March. If you look at this pattern, you will notice that it's the same pattern that we have here that is forming here. We have higher low that moved up, and it broke to the downside because we are in a down trend, because we are in a bear season. So it broke to this downside, and it broke this price range at 29,000. If you remember, around this period, I was saying that that the low is around this area. I was always dropping, some messages on the chat. Sometimes I'll drop a chat and I'll say, so on the group, on the WhatsApp group, and I'll say, look, pay attention to 29,000. So guys, sorry for that. So you notice that it breaks to the downside around this period, and it formed the same pattern. this triangle pattern. So my conclusion actually is that because we are seeing a bear season, because of what the macroeconomic news are saying about Russia and Ukraine, about inflation all over the world, like in America already, the inflation is crazy, about recession and whatnot. The market sentiment is that we should, because the stock market is still going down, it's still likely to go down, that we should have a breakout to the downside. So now this is what is going to happen. If this pattern happen, the same pattern, the same thing that happened around March, April happen. So now if it breaks to the downside, like the same thing we have around there, now we are likely to come and test this 17,000 is low. But as long as this low is not broken, we are still very good. So this bottom, this support, as long as this support is not broken, you can see that it's double support. It's double. We're having double bottom around this area. So we are likely to break down to this side. Now let's go back. Let's go back in time. I'm going to show you, why I'm saying now you see the same pattern playing out on the chart where we are actually on the uptrend. Now, if you look at this from this, guys, sorry, if you can see my chart, let me know. I need to be sure I'm communicating. If I'm communicating, drop me a message on the chat box. Now, looking back, if you look back, this is around 2021. This is around the same time, this period in July 2021. You can see that what we have is we're having a higher high. Okay, we're having market moving up and forming, this high is greater than this high because we are in an uptrend. And then you see that it's also forming squeeze pattern around this area. Then it breaks out. Then it comes down and breaks out. So the same pattern that normally happens when you are in a uptrend. It is something that is playing out as we are also in a downtrend. So my sentiment, considering, like I said, considering what is happening in Ukraine and Russia, considering what is happening around the world, inflation everywhere, recession, and right now, China, Taiwan, it's also building up. So my sentiment going forward is that what we are having, markets, Bitcoin, the crypto market, especially Bitcoin, considering this the Bitcoin chart, we are likely to also break down to the lower level. Probably will come and test 17,500, which is the lowest low that we have done so far. But as long as we don't break this price, 17,500, I think it will be good. I think if you come down to test this, this support, for me, I'll take it. I'll be taking buy as we are moving down, like I always do, like I always say in the group. I'll be doing a lot of DCA, dollar cost averaging, with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so going forward, let's look at the Ethereum chart too. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you also see the same pattern. I actually couldn't find that I couldn't find that trend trend stick on this chart, on this FTX chart. So that was why I didn't. That was why I couldn't draw this pattern on this. But if you also look at Ethereum, you notice that Ethereum also formed the same pattern around in June when we hit $900, 930. You see that it's also forming higher low. Then you move from around 930 to around 1,000. Then it went up to 1,002, went up to 1,003, went up to 1,005. You can see that it's moving up gradually. And there's a strong resistance around 2,000. That was why yesterday, when it hit $2,000 yesterday, I sold. I did some future trading around this area. I did a sell. I took a sell trade around this area. And I'm still holding that position because I expect Ethereum to still come to this spot at least probably around that 1,800 before I come out. So, but I'm trading this Ethereum at a very tight stop loss. You know, but like I said, looking at the macroeconomic situation, we are likely to break to the downside and probably come and test around this $1,000 region. You know, but for now, because of the merge news, Ethereum merge news, Ethereum is actually building up a lot of volume. Might likely, you know, probably break out around this 2,000 rate, probably to some people are projecting that 2,500 before we see a major pump, a major dump. But you know, in trading, in doing a daily trade with Ethereum, I'm being very careful. I'm being very careful around this area. But you know, this spot at $2,000, if you understand resistance and support, like you will see a lot of resistance around this area. It's a very good spot to take a sell. And I actually took a sell yesterday around this area when I saw it. Like I said, your ability to pay attention to the chart always speaks to you. So, but your ability to, you know, take time out, pay attention, just, you know, pay attention to, you can have this chart on your phone. Probably you are checking it probably once in 2 hours. Just check, okay, what is happening, you know. And then if I go back to this, I'm trying to look for, if you check Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, you can see a very strong resistance, you know, candle building up around there, around that 2,000. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I took that sell yesterday. You know, and I knew because I knew Ethereum is going to dump. Also, if you also if you look at let's look at Bitcoin. So also if you look at Bitcoin on 4-hour on this chart, you see that there's also a very strong resistance around this. Look at this candle. So immediately I saw this candle on Bitcoin, I also took a sell on Bitcoin. Also, I think I'm out on Bitcoin. I took a sell around that 25,000, and I'm out. So you know, if you look at the candlestick that we had around there on Bitcoin, you see that is a very strong resistance candle. You know, like inverse, what we know as inverse hammer. You know, the reverse hammer. You know, so moving forward. Somebody say they can't hear anything. Sorry, if you can hear me, and I know a lot of people can hear me. If you can't hear me, that means there's a problem with your audio. So going forward, let's look at I actually want us to look at what Celsius has done. And this is what Warren Buffett always say, that you know, when people are greedy, when people are greedy, you have to be careful. And when they are careful, you have to be greedy. Around about some couple of months ago, that 2 months ago, if you look at this news, Celsius network is bankrupt. So why is sell price of 4,000% in 2 months? I mean, when everybody is crying about Celsius, some people took a buy on Celsius. And you can see Celsius in the last 2 months have done $4,000. Sorry, 4,000% in 2 months. If you look at this news, the coin actually moved from 0.093 to $3.93, you know, in 2 months. You know, it dumped like mad, and it went up to did over 4,100%. So this actually it's also about paying attention to a coin. It's also about paying attention to a coin. So like I said, so my conclusion in going forward with Bitcoin, with this market, is that we are likely to see a dump, because you know, this spot has really squeezed out a lot, just like what we had there. So we are likely to see a dump to this direction because of macroeconomic news that we have around. Okay. So we'll be stopping here tonight. I don't know if you have a question. If anybody have a question that you want to ask me. please, you can go ahead if you have a question. Raise your, so if you raise your hand, I can unmute you. I can unmute you and take your questions. Okay, quickly, one thing. Okay, I also want us to look at gold. I forgot. Gold is another commodity that I love to trade because of its volatility. If you understand the gold, if you look at gold also, like 3-4 weeks ago, when I actually placed a gold trade signal in the group, and I said, if you trade gold, if you remember, I don't know if you're in the group and you remember when I placed this trade signal, that if you trade gold, you can take a buy. I noticed that, like I said, I think 2 weeks ago when we had a webinar, that I noticed that gold bottom out around this price, around 1,600, because of what it has done in the past. In 2021, we have triple bottom. So this spot is a very strong support. I think I took a buy around there, and I actually, if you enter gold right, and if you enter your trade on gold and you enter it right, like your trade is spot on, you'll make good money, because gold actually move very well when it moves from this spot till around this area. It has already done 1,319 pips. Even if you enter with one lot, I mean, that's some good money there. And I made some sizable money around there because I took a buy exactly on this spot when it hits. That was when I actually dropped that signal that if you trade gold, because I noticed that the chart, like I said, pay attention to the chart. If you pay attention to the chart, you will never miss it with trading. Just forget what everybody's saying and make sure you pay attention to the chart. Okay, so I think I'll take some questions. I think somebody, can you open a group for daily analysis draws for people that can use TradingView very well? Opening another group. Do we need to open another group, guys? Just like having some of them as admin, so they can drop daily idea on what they are seeing to help people pick up pace. Okay, that's a very good idea. Okay, Mr. Elijah, I think that's a very good. I think Tosin, if Tosin is there, Tosin, let me know. Tosin, let me see you. I'll ask you to unmute. Tosin, what do you think about that idea? Should we have another WhatsApp group for daily trade, for people that do daily trade and people that trade futures? What do you think? Tosin, I can't hear you. Okay, let me unmute everybody. So if you have any contribution to that idea, I think to be very, very good. I've not thought about it actually. I think that's that's the beauty of us having webinars, so we can rub minds. So I'm going to unmute everybody. Let me know what's your take. Should we have another group? You can unmute yourself and talk. Should we have another WhatsApp where we have daily?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. When we have another group for it, then we can just pick up trades from there. We don't have to use the same group where that we're using now. We can just use a personal group that we have admins that do analysis on TradingView. Then we can use their idea to pick up trades whenever we like. It's not must that you trade whatever they drop. Just use their idea to trade yours.
Okay, I think that sounds good. That's a good idea. But my fear with my fear with having, because of the experience of what I've had in the past, my fear with having an open group where you drop, where random people drops trade, especially when it has to do with daily trade. I'm talking about daily trade now. My fear with it is that a lot of people don't understand how to trade futures. And then somebody, let's say somebody like Abiola now drops a signal and says you can sell Bitcoin. because you don't expect him to now spoon feed you on how to sell. A lot of people will now take a sell and they will not know when to come out. And the market turns and they lose their money and they start complaining that, because I think I've had a couple of years ago, that was why I stopped dropping futures trade signals on group. That was why personally I'll just take my trade, and if I lose, fine. Because sometimes you enter a trade and you will lose. It's not every time you enter a trade that you make money. Sometimes you take a trade and you will lose. Like on Friday, I took some trades, it was a loss. I knew I was the one that take the trade, so fine, it's fine by me. And there are some trades that you enter and you make money. There are some trades you enter and you make you. But in an open WhatsApp group where you drop a trade, for example, if I drop a trade in the morning and probably I'm out of that trade probably after 2 hours, so people will still be holding that position. I mean, I'm already out. So the problem is that people will not know where to come out, especially people that are not so technical. So they will take a trade and the trade will now run to a loss and they will now be complaining. Another thing that I've also noticed about sorting is that probably somebody drop a trade in the morning, so say around 8 a.m. Let's say Mr. A drop a trade around 8 a.m. and Mr. B do not pick that trade. Probably he didn't see the chart, but because people don't stay on WhatsApp throughout the day, probably he now saw the trade signal in the afternoon. Probably he saw the trade signal around say 1 p.m. and he didn't ask questions in the group. He just went ahead and take that same trade. And of course, market has already moved from 8 to around say 1 p.m. There's all possibility that trade will enter loss and the person will start complaining. So that's my fear about having that arrangement. That's my fear. So, but probably I'll discuss with some people and we'll look at a way we can, play around it, how we can probably be dropping trade signals on a daily basis. When you see a very good trade, and probably we'll be adding when to enter the trade, when to now take your profit and come out of the market. Okay. Elijah is saying that it should be a new group. Okay, I'll think about it. Because with daily trading, it can be very risky. The truth is, it can be risky. But with long-term trade, with buying a coin and holding, there's no risk. And you can buy a coin and hold it for as long as you want, and then you will not lose your money, even if it goes against to say minus 95%. As long as that coin you buy is a very good coin, to still come back, So, but it's something I'm going to. Okay, Tosin is saying. Okay, Tosin, let me unmute you again. Probably you can. I'm going to unmute you again. Probably you can give me your reason why. Okay, let me unmute. Tosin, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I don't know. I don't think we need a new group. I think if we maximize our current group properly, it will work. So okay. Basically, once we have the people that will be dropping signals, okay, and then okay, it's not Telegram. Sorry, I just said that. For example, if it was Telegram, now we could pin. You can actually pin posts, to the group. But WhatsApp doesn't give that kind of.
The problem with me, probably I'm the one that had that problem with Telegram. I'm not a Telegram person.
I know you don't like Telegram. So.
Maybe that's a hair. So and then I know a lot of people that they don't also, because when you drop a signal on Telegram in the morning, people don't check Telegram as often as they check WhatsApp.
That's true.
But Elijah said something.
It's a good idea. We can just maybe discuss around it later and
okay. Maybe
right now.
I think Elijah also said and I think I'll likely go with him. Like he said, it's better if you have a new group. I mean, you will be able to tell people that, see, if you are interested, that new group will be for people that are interested. It should just be for trade signals, but for people that people that understand how to trade, buy and sell, people that can trade futures. Because in the group, I'm not going to go over teaching you how to trade futures. I don't have that time. I can only tell you probably when to buy and sell. So, but the problem, like I said, is people checking the group on time. Probably we have a set of groups where, and then we have a couple of people that drop that signals, and then we say, okay, if I drop a trade at social time and you don't check, and you have not checked probably in say in 2 hours, don't take the trade again. Probably we'll just have some trader because like I said, if I drop a trade signal in the morning, say by 8, or let's even say I drop in the midnight when people are still sleeping, because there are some times where you have a good trade setup around say 3 a.m. Nigerian time, sometimes 2 a.m., sometimes 1 a.m. Nigerian time, and you see a very good trade setup that you want to take, right? And people are still sleeping. And then you now drop that trade signal in the group. And somebody didn't see it until say 9 a.m. in the morning. You know, if you take that position already, you are likely to run into a loss. So I don't know. So, but we look at it. Yeah, somebody is saying, can't we use the same group? Using the same group, like Tosin said, is that there's a lot of chat that is always going on in that old group, in the same group. So people might not be seeing it. You know, that group is for general. Okay, let me allow you to mute. iPhone. Who is iPhone? I ask you to unmute if you are. I see that you raise your hand. You can unmute and.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Odu?
Odu.
Okay.
The other group, another group now. You can use the other group. The other group, we have 2 groups already. There's another group that we have for signal.
Okay, that other group, Abby, that we used to use before.
That we were using for signal.
Okay, we can use that one, Abby.
I use that one. Don't need
Okay.
to press any other.
Okay. Probably what I'm going to do is probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of that group to Trade Signals. And I'll choose some, couple of people that I'll be dropping, trade. Probably can just be like 2 or 3 trades per day on a daily, and then it's going to be at your own risk. It's going to be at your own risk. And I don't want anybody to be saying somebody drop drop a trade and they do the trade and went to loss. It's just going to be at your own risk. I think and Tosin said we should discuss this later. Okay, but probably something we'll discuss later before the end of the week. We'll conclude. Just look at it. Look out for it on the group. We'll conclude. And then we will let the house know whatever we conclude. Okay, like I said, Trade Signals group is at your own risk. Daily Trade Signals group is at your own risk, and your money management is also very important. You don't want to go and use 100x to trade and then you lose all your money and you are complaining. So I think we'll discuss it later in the day, later in the week, and then whatever conclusion we come up with, I'll let you guys know. All right, so guys, thank you for coming for this webinar. So I will meet everybody. So later in the group, later in the week, we'll be talking about it. Okay. All right. So good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. Don't worry. As soon as we conclude, I'll send the link to the group so that you can join. The new link, the old. I think we'll be using the old group so that we will need to open another WhatsApp group. That group will be solely for trading, for trade signals, for daily trade signals. Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, Boss Lola.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me, sir.
I can hear you.
Yeah. I would suggest we have area of specializations. Like some people actually trade some currency pairs or some crypto, and they are very good at it. Like maybe one person holds BTC,